Hello everybody. This talk is about the application of artificial intelligence in combustion diagnosis systems in thermal power plants. My name Tao. This is the abstract section. The application of artificial intelligence in thermal power plants is discussed. Digital image processing, fuzzy logic, and time series analysis are often employed to conduct the diagnosis of the combustion in the furnaces in thermal power plants. And the connection between radiation heat transfer and digital image processing makes accurate visualization of the temperature of the flame in the combustion possible, and rich information on combustion can be obtained from the textures of the flame imager. Fuzzy logic provides a mathematical framework to measure the situation where uncertainty exists, and it takes the best possible decision based on the input information. And time series analysis gives a qualitative way to measure recorded historical data of the textures of the flame imager, and it can be used to predict the future trend of the combustion. This figure shows the structure of a combustion flame diagnosis system. This region is the flame region, a flame inside the boiler of the thermal power plant. And we have a CCD camera to capture the flame image, and then send the flame image to the computer to conduct the flame image processing. We can have the temperature distribution inside the flame, and we also can have the classification of combustion condition, such as oxygen rich and oxygen lean. And finally, we send the classification to the distributed control system of the thermal power plant to participate in the combustion control. The final goal is to optimize the combustion control in the thermal power plant. Here it shows the interface of the computer software of a combustion flame diagnosis system. This section shows the original flame image, and this section shows the temperature distribution inside the flame. And this section is about the radiant energy. It changes over time. Radiant energy can be calculated based on the temperature information here. And finally, we have the combustion state. Here we have three kinds: oxygen rich, oxygen lean, and stoichiometric. This slide is about the difference between Boolean logic and fuzzy logic. Fuzzy logic is associated with all intermediate possibilities between two digital values, 1 and 0. 1 represents yes, and 0 represents no. For this question, is the oxygen supply enough for the combustion? If in the Boolean logic system we only have two answers, yes and no. Yes represented by number 1, no represented by number 0. However, in the fuzzy logic system, we have many possibilities. Here we have 5 possibilities: very much, fairly so, moderately, somewhat, and very little. Each is assigned a possibility 0.95 is for the possibility of the very much, 0.8 for the fairly so, 0.5 for moderately, 0.3 for somewhat, 0.1 for the very little. Here it is about the procedure to conduct a classification of combustion conditions based on flame image and fuzzy logic. The first step is to plot the histogram of the textures, also called features, of the flame image under different combustion conditions. And the second step is to choose membership functions. And the third step is to obtain the specific parameters of the membership functions based on curve fitting method, such as least square method. Here we note that the curve fitting means to fit the curve representing the histogram. Here we list 4 textures of flame image. The first one is the mean value, which is the average. The second one is the standard deviation. The third one is skewness, which is also called the third moment. And the fourth one is the information entropy. Information entropy is a qualitative parameter to measure the uncertainty of a signal. And here we note that xi is the intensity of the pixel in the flame image. Here we list 4 membership functions to do the fuzzy logic based combustion diagnosis. The first one is triangular. The second one is trapezoidal, and the third one is Gaussian, and the fourth one is S-shaped. This is a triangular membership function. The horizontal axis corresponds to input value, and the vertical axis corresponds to the degree of membership. This is the formula to calculate the degree of membership. And we have 3 parameters, A, B, and C. A is here. This less is A. And B is here. B corresponds to this peak value. And C is here. C is the length of the light segment from here to here. Here is about the trapezoidal membership function. This formula is to calculate the degree of membership. Here we have 4 parameters, A, B, C, and D. A is here. B corresponds to this peak value, so B is here. And C corresponds to this peak value, so C is here, C is here, and D is here. D corresponds to the length of the line segment from here to here. This slide is about the Gaussian membership function. This formula is to calculate the degree of membership. We have two parameters, sigma and C. Sigma is the standard deviation. C is the center. C is here. C corresponds to the peak value here. This is about a S-shaped membership function. Here is the formula to calculate the degree of membership. We have two parameters, A and B. A is here. A is the length of the line segment from here to here. And B is here, correspond to this peak value. B is the length of the line segment from here to here. Here is the point correspond to the peak value. Here we talk about time series analysis. Time series analysis does with records collected over time, and it includes the extracting of the meaningful statistics and other characteristics of the data. There are three commonly used methods in time series analysis. The first one is the autoregressive moving average, and the second one is autoregressive conditional heteroscedasticity. This was proposed by Robert F. Engel, the Nobel Prize laureate in 2003. And the third one is attractor reconstruction. The structure of the attractor is described based on fractal geometry. Here we talk about the calculation of flame temperature. The wavelength and temperature in the study of coal combustion have some range. The wavelength ranges from 300 nanometer to 1000 nanometer, and the temperature is from 800 Kelvin to 2500 Kelvin. And in this range, we use Yn law instead of Planck's law. This Formula 1 represents the Yn law. E is monochromatic excitance, and T is the temperature, and this is the emissivity, and lambda is the wavelength, and C1 and C2 are two constants, also called the first and the second Planck's constants. Now we consider a radiation point with temperature T emitting a red light and a green light. Each light has three parameters, including wavelength, monochromatic excitance, and emissivity. According to Yn law, we have equation 2 and equation 3. We divide equation 2 by equation 3, then we have the equation 4 here. And then we rearrange equation 4, then we can have the equation 5 here to to calculate the temperature of the radiation point. In real calculation, this atom is set to 0 because the red emissivity is almost equal to the green emissivity. And this atom is replaced by red component of the pixel intensity in the flame image. And this atom is replaced by the green component of the pixel intensity in the flame image. We know that in a color image for a pixel, there are 3 components, R, G, B, representing the red, green, and blue component. This atom is replaced by the red component, and this atom is replaced by the green component. Thank you.